What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scattered Brilliancy. My name is Travis and all that jazz. Now, excuse me. I'm gonna make this quick because my battery is low and I'm not trying to be on here all day. I'm lightweight pissed off and I'm getting a little bit frustrated. One, let me say, everything that Raven-Symoné says, you should not have a problem with it just because everybody else has a problem with it. If you're gonna have a problem with everything that she says, you need to have actual facts behind why you're upset. Now, I wasn't even gonna make a video about the whole high school resource officer situation that's going on in South Carolina. I wasn't gonna make a video about it because as a teacher, I was gonna stay out of it and let y'all have that conversation. But now it's gotten to the point where as a teacher, I need to speak up and talk about my views. Hold on. Talk about my views on this situation. Now let me say this. If you are not a teacher, if you are not out there on the front lines dealing with some problematic children who are really going through some stuff at home, you really have no room, you have no grounds to make assumptions and statements about that video. In my opinion, everything on here is my opinion. I am a teacher. I am a teacher who deals with problematic students on a daily basis. The actions by the officer, not okay. This video is not to say that they're okay. This video is to talk about the other side that nobody wants to talk about. Now, I just heard of something that the girl's mother died, you know, rest in peace, condolences to her family, and somebody said her grandmother died and all that other kind of stuff. I understand that. However, loss is not grounds to give you permission to behave badly. Now, I have been in so many situations in my own personal classroom where you tell a student repeatedly, stop doing this, stop doing that, don't do this, don't do that, and you have to continue to tell them to stop doing stuff. And you've gone past your first, second, and your third warning. You've gone past all that. You try to give them all these other alternative things to try to change their behavior, to try to redirect them and get them back on task. You try everything, and it is now out of your hands. Your only option is to call somebody else. That somebody else can be an administrator. That somebody else can be the BMT, which is the behavior management teacher. It is somebody else because it's gotten to a point where you can no longer handle it. And it's crazy that people who are not in classrooms think that teachers are supposed to handle all of the bad behavior that y'all bad chaps make us deal with on a daily basis. Some of y'all have no... Oh, calm down, Travis. Some of y'all have no control over your own children, but you expect us as teachers to have control over your children. Some of these kids are bad as hell. Bad as hell. And these parents expect us to do a better job with them than they can do. When I see the way that your child talks to you, I can't be surprised with the way that the child talks to me. But you're not going to look at me like I'm crazy and tell me that I'm not doing my job because I can't control your child more than you can. If you believe that a teacher should be able to parent a child and control a child better or more than their biological parent or whomever it is that they live with, guardian, if you think that a teacher is supposed to be able to do that, you need to redirect some things. You need to get your life together and reconsider that because that is just not happening. That is not a real thing. It just ticks me off when people who are not in situations have so many, you should have did this, you could have did that, or would have did, and like all that stuff just ticks me off, and I'm frustrated. I am so frustrated. Now, like I said, the police, the school resource officers' actions were unnecessary. However, if an adult tells you to do something, as a child, you are supposed to do it. When you're in the four walls of a school, you are under the adult's supervision. You are under their rules and regulations, and you're supposed to do it. My battery's about to die. And you are supposed to do what they ask you or tell you to do. You don't have, there's no conversation in it. There's no I don't want to. You're in school. You're first of all in school to learn. And I can't teach you if you're not listening to what I have to tell you. So you're supposed to do what I tell you to do. Now, if you decide to come to school and don't do what I ask you to do, you have to suffer the consequences. I wasn't in this classroom, so I can't say what happened. But I'm willing to bet that this teacher told this student to do something, to stop doing something, or to do something, and the student said no. Okay, cool. If the officer comes in and tells you to get up, and you say no, you have now ignored two adults with whom you're supposed to respect. You've ignored two, and now you're doing your own thing. I'm sorry to tell y'all that there are some situations where students may have to be physically moved from a classroom. Tell me this. Look at it this way. Would you want to know that your child is failing a state standardized test because there's a distraction in the room that is not being removed? Or would you want that distraction removed from the classroom so that the teacher can do their job? Think about that. Think about that when you talk about what the teacher should have done. Do you want your child to fail because there's a distraction and the teacher can't teach because little Johnny is standing up on desk, swinging his shirt around, swinging all over the classroom, acting like a fool? Would you want your child in that classroom? Most parents who have sense would say no. You would want the distraction removed from the room. Now, if the distraction ain't gonna get up and walk out on its own, how do you think the distraction is gonna leave the room? It ticks me off, man. People just do not understand what teachers have to go through on a daily basis because these kids these days, disrespectful is not even the word. So, I say all this to say, and I hope the camera doesn't cut off as I'm wrapping up. You need to consider that there are two sides to every story. And yes, the truth is somewhere in between, but you can't always look from the left. You gotta sometimes look from the right and consider the other side. Yes, the girl shouldn't have been handled like that, but the girl should have just listened the first time somebody told her to stop doing whatever she was or get out the room. If people would just do what's asked of them the first time. You know, it's not even like she's an adult and she had the right to say no. You're supposed to listen to the adults. So if you just do what the adults ask or tell you to do, would you have gotten your tail slammed to the ground? I would like to believe that answer is no. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I'll be talking to y'all later. Like, rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.